Beneath the calm waters of the Persian Gulf, a shadow war is being fought. It's a conflict waged not with missiles, but with money. On one side, the United States wielding the full force of its economic might. On the other, Iran, a nation determined to survive. For decades, Washington has used sanctions as its primary weapon to curb Tehran's nuclear ambitions and limit its regional influence. The goal is simple: squeeze Iran's economy until it bends to America's will. But has this high-stakes strategy actually worked? This is the story of a relentless economic siege, a masterful evasion, and the unintended consequences that ripple across the globe. The mechanism behind this economic warfare is as intricate as it is powerful. At its core, the strategy targets the lifeblood of the Iranian economy, oil. By imposing secondary sanctions, the U.S. effectively threatens any country or company doing business with Iran, cutting them off from the dollar-denominated global financial system. Imagine a vast invisible wall descending around Iran's central bank and its fleet of oil tankers. International banks, fearing hefty fines and loss of access to American markets, sever ties. Insurance companies refuse to cover Iranian vessels. The result is a near-total blockade, designed to choke off the regime's primary source of revenue and cripple its ability to fund its military and proxy forces. Yet, where there is immense pressure, there is also ingenious resistance. Faced with economic isolation, Iran didn't just surrender. It adapted, building one of the most sophisticated sanctions evasion networks the world has ever seen. This complex cat-and-mouse game creates a tangled web of winners and losers. The clear winner, in many respects, is the Iranian regime itself. By mastering the art of evasion, it secures the necessary funds to maintain its grip on power, finance its regional proxies, and advance its nuclear program, effectively neutralizing the sanctions' primary objectives. The illicit networks of traders, shippers, and bankers who facilitate this shadow economy also profit handsomely from the high risks involved. For energy-hungry nations, particularly China, the sanctions present an opportunity to purchase discounted Iranian crude, strengthening their own energy security. But the heaviest price is paid by the Iranian people. While the regime finds ways to fund its priorities, ordinary citizens face rampant inflation, a collapsing currency, and dwindling access to essential goods, including life-saving medicines. The sanctions intended to punish the government have instead inflicted deep and lasting pain on the very population they were meant to empower. So, as this geopolitical chess game continues, the board grows more complex. The U.S. tightens its grip only for Iran to find a new way to slip through its fingers. For decades, the United States has wielded its economic might as a primary tool of foreign policy, imposing sanctions to isolate and pressure nations like Iran. But what happens when that pressure is met not with submission, but with sophisticated, global defiance? This is the story of a new kind of conflict, a shadow war fought not on traditional battlefields with soldiers and tanks, but in the clandestine world of digital networks, dark shipping lanes, and parallel financial systems. It's a high-stakes contest of strategy and subterfuge, where every move redefines the boundaries of global power. This shadow war is enabled by a sprawling covert network that has rendered traditional sanctions far less effective. At the heart of this network are Iran's oil exports, the lifeblood of its economy. Animated maps would show a diversion from traditional European markets to a new constellation of buyers. The key players are often independent teapot refineries in Asia, hungry for discounted crude and willing to operate outside the conventional dollar-denominated system. To circumvent sanctions, this ecosystem utilizes a complex web of non-USD currencies, intricate barter arrangements, and shadowy intermediaries. This isn't just evasion, it's the construction of a parallel economy, a system designed to insulate itself from American financial leverage and, in doing so, subtly erode the dollar's long-standing global dominance. This economic conflict has ignited a technological arms race. a digital cat-and-mouse game played out across the world's oceans and networks. Iran has mastered the art of electronic deception to conceal its tanker fleet. Using advanced GPS spoofing, a vessel's reported location can be falsified by thousands of miles, making it appear to be in one ocean while it's actually loading oil in another. This is combined with eyes ghosting, where a ship's automatic identification system is either turned off or its signal is cloned onto another vessel, creating phantom fleets that confuse trackers. In response, the United States and its allies have deployed a formidable counter-arsenal. AI-powered satellite surveillance scans the seas for dark ships, while sophisticated financial forensics algorithms hunt for the faint digital footprints of illicit transactions, turning a flood of global data into actionable intelligence. While this war is fought in the shadows, its consequences are starkly visible within Iranian society, creating deep and destabilizing fractures. The sanctions regime intended to cripple the state has inadvertently birthed a new class of sanction-fueled oligarchs. These insiders master the black markets, profiting immensely from illicit trade and currency manipulation, accumulating vast wealth while the nation struggles. The result is a dramatic and widening wealth gap. Have these measures, intended as a show of strength, unintentionally fast-tracked the emergence of a multipolar world where the U.S. financial system holds diminished sway? As we look at the globe, we can see the nascent outlines of new competing economic blocs, each vying for influence. The shadow war between sanctions and evasion may have set in motion a permanent shift in the global order, leaving us to contemplate a future defined not by a single dominant power, but by a complex and unpredictable balance of many.